Hey guys, we're back with the next episode of our Sryth fantasy text-based RPG. Hey, thanks so much for the comments, you guys. The people who love to play the game, been playing for years. To the guys, uh, tavern I went to, that's awesome. I will try to find my way back there and check out more stuff that's going on. But I appreciate you guys coming in on my video and hanging out with me. So, yeah, we're back. I don't remember what I was doing last time. But really, we're just looking around, looking for adventure. That's the kind of adventurer we are as Allison. So let me go ahead and travel to my cabin or to my castle, which is gonna be southeast. Yeah, by Tridmore. And let's check out our upgrades. I guess we need some new ones. Hey, thanks so much for hanging out and joining me. Dragon Bone Vase. I'm not doing a vase gallery. Vase of Lightning. No vase galleries, no sculpture garden, no weapon rack, Well of Dreams, no well chamber. Grand Flower Garden sounds nice. Because I'm a lady and I like flowers. I'm gonna finish this underground stuff. Not this episode, but some episode, I'm sure. Let me review the upgrades I've made. Upgrade those. Which for this berry is just a flower garden right now. So that's fine. Buy candles. Let's see. We did most north west stuff, I guess. I don't want to just do random exploration right now. We're looking for adventures. The other layer. No, I'm good. We're in the city of Tarn. Yeah. Yes. We don't want to do that right now. Move away. Alright. Then we were in Western. We did most of the things we could do at Trithic. Yeah. And we did the Mercs build, yeah. Stuff. And then we were in Lake Aronian. We visit the tower. Right, the Elder's Eye Tavern is much what you'd expect to find in a place like Irongarden, an old, dilapidated wood structure that leans precariously to the right. Tavern's interior, hardly an improvement over its exterior, is nonetheless filled with the smell of wood smoke, the din of merriment, and the permeating warmth that effortlessly rids you of the pervasive chill borne upon the wind sweeping of the lake. Yeah, give me the ale. Single golden token fetches you a frothing tankard of the tavern's best and most bitter ale and a bowl full of rather interesting stew comprised of several different species of wild game. The simple but warming meal does wonders to drive away the nagging chill that plagued you since you first set foot in Ironguard. And we speak to the tavern keep. The tavern keep, a seemingly joyless, grey man named Dobril. Not as you approach him and begin engaging in conversation, Dobril seems reluctant to speak to you and says only very little about any news that has recently come to his attention. After short and chilly conversation with you, politely excuse yourself and step away. Well, that's all there's to do, so we're gonna leave. Let's explore. No, we're not doing that. One day when we have nothing else to do, we'll do lots of exploration, I'm sure. Let's see. Fogball. Forest of Mist, the Moon Layer. Okay. Move on to southeast. I think we've done everything in the southeast so far. Goblin Claw Inn's here. Camp of the Painted Peddler. Yeah, let's go northern then. Get the city of Port Halleck. Sure, let's visit. Yay, adventures. The bustling city of Port Halleck is the kingdom's largest and busiest seaport. Ships from across the realm drop anchor here while their cargo are unloaded and their stocks replenished. The city's harbour, a wide natural cove, offers a relatively safe inlet from the wild waters of the Sundran Sea. Much of the Tizian navy is located here, and a large garrison of the kingdom's army is maintained within the ancient old port. Hey, the IFC is going to give me a power? I don't think it is. What powers? Do I have a power left? No. I have a skill left. One of the weaponries I have left, but I think you can get seamanship from here if you didn't buy it, which I was like, I'll just buy it, because who has time for... Where is it? Seamanship, yeah. There we go. Oh, we have enough to train. The eye of the sea is a massive eye-shaped rock seated atop a tall mound of earth that overlooks Port Halleck Cove. It's said that the eye was raised from the depths of the cove by a powerful spellcaster many years ago. Now, a piece of local folklore, it has come to be believed the eye possesses mystical powers and that it watches over the vessels that leave Port Halleck to brave the open waters of the Sundran Sea. As you stand admiring the unusual rock, you notice a man kneeling in prayer next to the piece of stone. Let's talk to him. The middle-aged man is startled by your sudden approach, but as quickly regains his composure and greets you warmly. He tells you that he is leaving on a sea voyage tomorrow, and that he praying that the eye would watch over his vessel and his crew during their journey. Some of the younger lads would have just as soon not hear mention of the eye these days, he said. It's the old hands like me that know that the power of its protection are more than mere myth. The man introduces himself as Captain Tibor Greenfin of the galleon Silver Crown. He tells you that he is always seeking bold, able-bodied talent to swell his ranks. I've been around long enough to know a spot of vigor when I see it, he says, looking over you closely. I'm hauling a rather important cargo to Pakro, and I'll pay 50 gold tokens in your hand, payable when your old gal drops anchor at a destination. We'll need tomorrow if you're interested. Okay. Sure. Captain Greenfin smiles and meets you in a shoulder cross. So you see, he says, smiling, the IFC has already sent a bit of good fortune my way in what it would seem. You follow the captain through the streets of Port Halleck to the harbour cove. It is here, in the end of the long wharf, you first lay your eyes upon the Silver Crown, a battered old galleon, flying the colours of Tisa. She's perhaps not quite as spry as she once was, he says, and he leads you aboard, but she will handle whatever the old Sundran can kick up, and let there be no mistake about it. Okay, anytime we talk about sea, like, galleons or ships, I think about Assassin's Creed Black Flag. I love that game. I love being a pirate. In the game, they let you swim, they let you build your own base, they let you upgrade your ship. Like, that is right at my alley. Like, upgrading, collecting people, love it. That is my kind of thing in a game. More than the fighting, I love to build stuff, and I love to create a society or like a community. So, you know, you get your own island, which is a cool island with a big jungle to explore. Like, if I could have my own island right now, first of all, it would be a musical island. Everybody would have to sing everything or rap if they can't sing. And then we would be living the high life, you know, just having good times. You spend the night aboard the Silver Crown with the captain and his 35-member crew, listening with great interest as they relate stories of their many different adventures upon the high seas. Most of the men present have been with Captain Grinfin on more than one voyage, while the other 12 and you have just recently been signed on. The captain tells you that all the voyage to Pakra will take 3 days, and that all indications are that the weather will be fair for the trek. You go to sleep that night in a room below deck with 6 other crew members and awaken before dawn as all hands are called to the deck to prepare the vessel for departure. As promised, the Silver Crown launches out of the harbour cove early the next morning under clear skies as begins the lengthy trek across the mouth of San Splits. For nearly 2 days the voyage passes without incident. And then, on the morning of the 3rd day of the voyage, as you busy yourself on one of the shipboard duties, you're startled to be sudden by a sudden cry from the crow's nest. "Sea Tross, to port!" Oh, what's a sea trosk? These powerful aquatic serpents dwell in the depths of the sea and will on occasion surface to attack ships. They're larger and more powerful relative of the Tross. There are several varieties of this massive serpents. Although the majority of them have brown and grey scales, their hands are adorned with a pair of long white horns that the creature will use to attack. These massive reptiles may grow to over 200 feet in length. The sea tross is perhaps the most dreaded denizen of the deep for all Srythian mariners. Okay, your blood runs cold upon hearing the ominous words. You turn to witness the fearsome serpent, and it rises swiftly out of the dark ocean depths. The sea tross roars its rear back. It roars as it rears its head back its head and raises its tail on the starboard side of the ship. With unnerving speed, the hideous creature begins to wrap itself around the silver crown. "Repel! Repel! Cut the beast from our boards!" screams Captain Grinfin as he draws his blade and charges across the deck with the rest of the crew, determined not to let the serpent drag the vessel under. "Join the attack!" Charge the rail alongside your fellow shipmates as you prepare to engage the behemoth sea beast. Oh man. What if you were to hide? That would be so rude. The massive sea serpent emits a painful bellow as its raised torso swings back and forth above the main deck. Then a loud gurgling sound issues forth from its gaping jaws. Its battered and bloody carcass slips silently beneath the waves, and a loud cheer erupts as the last of the fearsome serpent disappears from view in the dark water below. The captain praises the entire crew for the fine effort and then bows his head to in silent prayer. Oh my gosh, that just made me think of what if there were sea monsters in Assassin's Creed? That would be amazing. Like a kraken or something. Maybe it is and I never just ran upon it. I guess it's based in the real world. Captain Grinford doesn't have mystical creatures. Orders all hands on deck, and when everyone is accounted for, he asks the first mate to sound the ship. A few minutes later, the first mate returns to report the ship is sustained only minimal damage. The hull is sound. "You see," beams the captain as he slaps you on the shoulder. "The eye of the sea watches over us yet." I think that was me. The voyage across the remainder of Silent Split is resumed, and both the captain and crew seem to be in fine spirits as the weather galleon begins its last leg of its trek to Pac Raw. However, as the day wears on, you become aware of something odd. As you tend to your onboard duties, you know that 12 new members of the Silver Crown's crew seem to be purposely avoiding working alongside of or interacting with the captain's established corps of seamen. When you try to strike up a conversation with one of them, he merely smiles briefly and then quickly moves away without speaking a word. As dust rolls across the Sundra, the ship drops anchor just outside the harbour of Pac Raw. The captain announces that the port city doesn't allow ships into the harbour after sunset, and the voyage will be completed at dawn's first light. That night, you settle into your bunk below deck. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. The room you share with the 12 new crewmen and drift into an uneasy sleep. The Captain Grinfin's ship continued to cut a dark course across the open ocean. You wake with a start as the unmistakable sound of battle from the deck above. You're about to leap out of your bunk when you suddenly a pair of hairy, clawed hands clamp on your throat in the darkness as you desperately try to free yourself from the vice-like grip that is choking the life out of you. Oh my gosh. The face of a large rat looms over you and out in the darkness. Oh, Krogari, no! You still recognize the man-sized rat creature as a Krogari. The vicious rat man grinds its sharp yellow teeth as it relishes what it believes to be the last few moments of your life. Unarmed combat. Success! With a swift and unexpected move, you deftly send both of your feet sailing into the Krogari's chest, sending the ratman rolling backwards onto the floor. Before he can regain his footing, you're on top of him, prepared to make certain that his murderous hands are forever rendered harmless. Death to the heathen! You step up to the dead Krogari and quickly but cautiously make your way up the steps of the main deck, where a horrifying sight greets your eyes. Captain Grinfin and the 6 of his crew are pitched in a brutal struggle against 11 Krogari. The bloodied bodies of the first mate and the other crew members lie sprawled on the deck. You suddenly realize the Krogari now attacking the captain and his crew and have tried to murder you in your sleep, with the 12 new crew members taking on in Port Halleck. Strange behavior of the 12 men now appears to at least have an explanation. Your eyes rush to the captain, who's holding the ground against a particularly large rat man wielding a barbed flail. The captain brandishes his short blade. His eyes remain focused on the flail-wielding Krogari that stalks toward him across the main deck. Battle rages aboard the Silver Crown. Archery! Whoosh! Your arrow screams across the main deck and strikes the advancing Krogari on the side, directly beneath his raised arm. The missile has punctured the Ratman's lung, and almost at once he drops to his knees as he's fighting for hair. His fight is short-lived, however, as Captain Grinfin strides forward and mercilessly removes his head with a swift clean. Stroke, you're indeed a blessing, Allison, he shouts as he races to the other side of the deck to aid the rest of his battle crew. Setting yourself for combat, you follow swiftly behind him. Near the doors of the captain's cabin, you come upon an axe-wielding Krogari who has just slain a crewman. The Ratman looks up from the mutilated body of his slain human and launches himself at you in a vicious attack. Death, I say! The Krogari drops to the deck. Aye! And you spin on your heel and confronted by a Ratman who stands directly behind you, his long blade poised to cleave your skull in two. Before you can react, your would-be assailant topples over dead with the hilt of a bone-handled knife protruding from his back. A smiling crewmate quickly removes the knife, and you both watch with grim satisfaction as the captain and the crewmen finish off the last of the Krogari. The bodies of the Krogari are all pitched overboard, and the captain orders the bodies of the first mate and the 5 dead men be gathered together so that prayers may be offered for them. Captain Grinfin, with teary eyes and heavy voice, bids a solemn and dignified farewell to the 5 brave men who perished at the hand of their attackers. When the short ceremony is concluded, he orders them lowered into the sea, starboard side, and his eyes facing skyward as is the custom with fallen mariners. Whether they want it ship or cargo, or both, they receive that which their foul breed deserves, grumbled the captain. He orders that the watch be doubled for the rest of the night before retreating to his cabin. First light, the Silver Crown raises anchor and enters Pakra Harbour, at last completing his voyage. You soon learn that while there is cargo stored in the ship's hold to be unloaded, perhaps the real cargo was the elderly man hidden away below deck in a large wooden crate who had been fashioned into a makeshift cabin. The captain escorted the man off to where he met by a 2-horse carriage that has arrived at the wharf. The man steps into the carriage and is swiftly borne away. Captain Greenfin, upon returning to the ship, confides you that the old man you saw departing was the main reason for the voyage. I'd hate to think that those Krogari were after him, and that his enemies ended the life of my friend and first mate, he said, his voice tinged with sadness. Though you did all right for certain, Allison, it was an honour to have cut the waves with you. May our return journey prove less arduous. Later in the morning, Captain Grenfin settles with the crew, and when he summons you into the cabin, he approaches you with a pouch of gold that contains the 3 times the amount you signed on for. You've earned every coin, friend, he smiles. The captain spends the remainder of the day hiring new crewmen to replace those lost to sea, and when he has full complement, he announces that at dawn the next day the Silver Crown will begin its return voyage. The trek home proves to be ultimately uneventful. When you relieve, the ship draws into Port Halleck Cove 3 days after you sailed out of Pakra. Before you depart, Captain Grinfin tells you that he conducts his business above the tavern at Gall Street, known as the Beggar's Arms, and invites you to stop by from time to time. I've always need for a capable set of hands, he says, slapping Gall Street, known as Beggar's Arms, slapping you on the back as you disembark, and with a final wave on the quayside, you set off on your way to the city streets, quite happy to once again have your feet on solid ground. Yeah, I do. Alright, let's train something. Conjuration, gating. I mean, gating is always a good choice, because we use that actually more than any other thing. But what if I want to work on skills? What if I want more archery? Can't do it. What if I want more, I don't know, diplomacy? No, I can't do it. Law, thievery. I mean, it's always good to have more thievery. Let's do unarmed combat. Been using that quite a bit. Alright, let's save. Okay. Explore the streets. Oh. Yeah. Visit the harbour. The fire-ravaged building. Standing before the partially collapsed remains of a child building, your eyes are drawn to a sign leaning up against a structure which reads, "The Boiled Hammer." Needless to say, the alehouse, once a favourite among the wharfs, won't be open for business anytime soon. Rilgart's Emporium. Rilgart the Emporium is a small cluttered shop owner and operated by Rilgart Grindelock. Grindelow? Gilderoy Lockhart? Sea captain of a great renown, now retired from the life spent in the waves. Captain Grindelock spent the latter half of his legendary career making perilous journey to and from Arkinda, overseeing the fleet of 3 ships that served the transport needed of the ever-growing Dirican oil trade. Okay, Arkinda. Behold, adventure, the perilous one that is Arkinda. Arkinda is the name given to the vast frozen reaches of the northern Sryth, a region more commonly known as the fabled North. Arkinda, a ancient word of Alvarian origin, roughly translates to realm of ice and death. The sky of Arkindia, a cross-shaped symbol enclosed in a triangle, the dark Deathly Hallows. It's found all across the fabled north, etched and emblazed on various surfaces or objects. Its meaning remains unknown. Legends tell of Mordragon, a vast kingdom lost beneath the ice long ago. A kingdom said to have been more grand than any that currently exists in the known world. Countless adventurers have braved the fabled north through the ages, but apart from a few scattered clues and a handful of old relics, little evidence exists to support the tenets of the kingdom's existence. Ramhat, an ancient walled city on the southern side of Akinde, serves as the region's lone seaport and only true bastion of the civilization. Akinde is not governed in any traditional sense, and indeed knows no central source of authority. Wow. Okay. I don't need to know all this. Ring the bell. You can ring my bell. You ring the bell and wait, but no one appears. After lingering for several minutes, you step back out. Okay. Fine. Alright, we're 20 minutes in. Do we have time for an adventure? What do we got here? Came from the deep. A while exploring adventure. Sounds pretty short. So we'll go for it. Oh no, it's scaled. Probably not short then. Hit it. Just after daybreak, at the foot of the narrow lane that runs up the northern edge of the harbour district, on your way to the steaming cask, a pale ale dinner favourable repute, keen on enjoying the day's first brewing of notoriously strong pale ale, you round a bend in the lane and come to a dead stop. Dragging itself along the foggy, deserted street is a towering, formless bulk undulating wildly is a mountainous blob of thick red slime. For a fleeting instant, your wide eyes take in the full sight of the amorphous horror. You wish you had opted to stay in bed. Oh no. Suddenly, the massive mound of slime rears up, adopts an angular shape, and seems to lean in your direction, keenly aware of your presence. Then the hideous bubbling sound rises out of its midst, and echoing along the lane, the mass of slime reverts to a shapeless state and surges towards you, sliding and scraping along the deserted street as it swiftly closes in. I don't know. Let's try destruction. You summon the power of destruction and concentrate the full wrath of the approaching mountain of slime, only to be left dumbfounded when nothing appears to happen. Dismayed, you fail to even slow down the glob. You step across the nightmarish entity and continue. Let's fight, I guess. Steeling yourself to engage the mass of red slime, you take a position in the middle of the lane and adopt a defensive stance. A sickening, gurgling sound echoes along the foggy street as the blob surges towards you, bearing with it an outstretched stench of the sea. As the nightmarish mound draws up to you, it suddenly assumes the shape of a massive cube. Quivering wildly, the block of slime attempts to attack you. Well, we lived. That's good. Oh no. It's risen again! A loud gurgling sound rises to the air as the massive crimson blob slowly dissolves into a thick puddle of red ooze. Before you can catch your breath, the terrifying creature, now less than half an original size, rises out of the puddle and resumes its attack. Okay, still good. Once again, the revolting gurgling sound echoes along the street as the rest sound dissolves in a puddle of ooze. This time, however, the hideous creature doesn't rise out of its remains. Exhaling sharply, you step away from the thinning, slow, expanding pool and glance in both directions on the lane. The street still stands empty. After watching the puddle of ooze ready to slowly dissolve until only a faint crimson hue residue remains, you head off along the lane. Your thoughts once more turn to the steaming cask. You desire to fetch a vessel of the paler dins. The bold, rich brew is stronger than ever. Okay, as you pass beneath an ancient stone arch that marks the entrance to the city's harbour section, an old man leaning against the wall tips his grimy hat at you and smiles. It came from the deep, he says in a gravelly voice, tilted his head in the direction from which you've just come. Not the first time I've seen one, neither is the second, but each time I do, I pranks at last. Won't be, though. It's not as I reckon things. Okay. You ask the old man if he can elaborate on what he's just revealed, but he immediately shrugs. Out in the deep, he says, shaking his head. That's where they come from. I never seen bigger ones, and I see not quite so big. Doesn't matter. They're all trouble. Don't go telling anybody else about this, though, because they won't believe you. They declare you mad as they have me. Spare yourself the trouble. The man again tips his hat, bids you farewell, and shuffles off, leaving you to press onto the pale of din, which, if memory serves you, is around the next bend. Even from here, the enticing aroma of the stewing pale is enough to make you hasten your step. At this point, it would take an entire legion of giant red slimes to keep you from reaching the steaming cars. Okay, well, it's short. Came from the deep. Just some kind of red blob comes from the sea every now and then. I guess I saw something. Okay, I don't know. Okay. Let's visit the magistrate. Silas Morfall, the elderly magistrate, whose office oversees all aspects of law and commerce within Port Halleck, spends most of his days auditing the city's detailed archive of records as he toils to produce an exhaustive history of the storied seaport. The white-haired magistrate, not one idle conversation, is known for his quick temper and his delight for having to interrupt his demanding work. You learn that Silas Morfall is not currently around, and no one seems to know where he might be. Okay. How come everything's empty around here? Bricksall hides. Bricksall is a bustling, well-ordered shop run by none other than Mayhol Bricksall himself. There are many stories regarding this former sea captain's adventures on the high sea, but in his declining years, he contents himself with running an emporium consisting solely of hide and other non-metal pieces of armor. Do I have something to sell? No. Okay, what does he have to sell? Trash, that's what. Vinning horn, shell breastplate. Trust hide gloves. Nah, I'm good, thanks. Okay, the Port Halleck trading post is stocked with odd assortments of wares that have been sold here over the years by daring souls who have returned to the port with spoils gained from some adventure on the high seas. Have a look about, go on now, booms a jovial fellow with a reddish complexion. He places both hands on his hips as he carefully scans the patron moving about his collection of wares. Visits items. See, yeah, I'll check the items. Trash. Ornate seashell. That sounds nice. Buy it. Okay. Anything else? Oh, you just sell seashells willy nilly. Okay, bye. Investigate a massive claw-shaped standing stone. I don't know that I want to. Is there anything else in the north? We're already in the north. Alright, let's go on to central. I think we're going to hang out in Talinas next episode, see what they got going on there. And we're just going to keep going around, down and around, till we do every adventure I run across. And then we'll, do some exploration deeper and find more things to do here in the awesomeness that is this game. Alright, that's going to be it. Thanks so much for hanging out and joining me. Until next time, you know what I'm going to say. Peace.